Nerd On the Podcast is proudly partnered with Apogee Electronics and Odyssey Headphones, leaders in the field of audio.
Shanghai Moon. Guys.
What is going on, everybody? Welcome back to Nerd On the Podcast you didn't need, but you deserve, and where all levels of nerd are welcome. We are going to first introduce the host. I'm Josh.
I'm Tom.
I'm Caitlin.
And this episode is brought to you in part by the members of the Nerd On Nation that is powered by a Patreon. As a member of the Nerd On Nation, you do get fun perks, like you get early access to these episodes, you get bonus episodes that nobody else hears, you get access to secret servers on our Discord, all sorts of really cool stuff, even discounts on merch. You get a Nerd On nudge to our Nerd On update. But yeah, check that out. The links are nerdon.tv/Patreon for our Patreon, and nerdon.tv/Discord gets you into that Discord. It's a really cool place to be. It keeps growing every week. It's practically tripled in the past 2 months, which is really fun.
Crazy.
Lots of fun conversations from gardening to comic books. The gamut is wide.
Video game theory.
Very cool stuff.
Shout out to Hayden. And also a big shout out to our partners in crime, Apogee Electronics, who got us these microphones, the Hype Mic, the ultimate podcasting microphone. Cannot speak highly enough about it. It's a wonderful, easy-to-use microphone. And if you are thinking of voiceover, podcasting, streaming, any sort of content creation, even just having a microphone for uses for like meetings and whatnot, I highly suggest it. Tom's still doing the thing.
I'm doing hand stuff that you should be watching on our YouTube.
Yes. But yeah, also Odyssey headphones. They make these wonderful headphones. And as we have said, if your ears were mouths, they taste like butter, and it is a recognized phrase.
They did. They actually recognized it on their official social media.
Yes.
So it's legit now.
But yes, today is a very special episode. It was only a matter of time until we at Nerd On met a fellow group of podcasters who spend their waking hours consuming all there is to love about nerd culture. And today, those two worlds collide as we bring in the host of What's Up Fandom, Josh and Jason. So please, everyone, give them a huge, warm welcome to our guests and enjoy the show. Josh and Jason, welcome to Nerd On the Podcast. Welcome. How are you guys?
Some time.
Great.
I was gonna let Jason go first. I'm just like, hey, Jason. Please.
Yeah, I'm doing great. I'm very, I'm happy to be here.
Yeah.
Thanks for having us. I do have a question. How does the name of your show go? One more time for me, please.
Goodness, everyone! If you should go check out What's Up Fandom. We did an episode with them, and we have now established the new rule that when you say the name of our show, you say "Nerd On."
Oh,
yeah.
That sounds like something Tom did, huh?
Yeah, and then just the podcast. Afterwards, it's very much
very calmly.
The podcast.
Well, we can also go into your name. Everybody, this is Josh and Jason. I can speak. I totally can use my words.
Wow.
Josh and Jason from What's Up Fandom. So it's What's Up, Fandom. So
there's a space, comma space fandom.
Yes, comma space.
Comma
so you got to leave a little bit of room. There is the comma calls for a little bit of a break. So What's Up Fandom.
I feel like what you have to do is What's Up
Fandom.
And then you have to wait till someone says something to fandom. You just have to, cut them off.
Yeah, I'm from the great state of Oklahoma, so we like to leave a little bit of room for Jesus. So there's that perfect little bit right there. You leave it like when you go to dances. You have to be a Bible length apart because
Open Bible, not closed Bible.
Oh, our Bible was
Bible.
Instead of vertically, it was
I see.
They're like
I
you have to go like this. But what we did, because I went to a private school, for our senior year, we
fancy.
did our prom and everything. Not really. There were 9 of us. So for the Bibles that we had, we got those little Gideon Bibles.
Oh.
So it's like, ooh, we outfought you guys.
Wow. Cheating the system, loopholes.
Jesus lost some weight.
So, how are you guys? How has the pandemic treating you?
Oh.
Well, the last time that we spoke, I have COVID-19.
What?
So, yeah, I
Wow.
got a test last Saturday and got my results on Wednesday, and I came back positive.
Oh,
So
Yeah.
it's been a thing.
So
Wow.
we technically have a third guest on the show now.
Yeah, this is Covey.
COVID.
Covey,
19
Wow.
years old.
exactly.
So have you been pretty asymptomatic? Like you've been healthy
Yeah.
and good? Wow.
I had 1 day of really bad symptoms, and then the rest of it, I've had a constant headache. But I mean, just Tylenol and everything, and that kind of alleviates a little bit of it. But other than that, yeah, nothing else. No,
Wow.
I haven't had a fever since last Wednesday. So yeah, everything. I've been okay. The quarantine is terrible, though.
Yeah.
I'm not a fan.
You're one of the lucky ones. One of our members of Nerd On.
Thank you.
Will, he came on the show like right at the beginning of it all because he also got it. Like he was one of the first early, people that contracted the virus, and
Early
like,
COVID
he had a
adopters.
really. I was almost gonna say that, but that's terrible.
I know.
But he had a terrible time, like absolute terrible
He
time.
actually got it twice.
Yeah.
Oh,
He got one strain and then got the other.
and
Oh.
like couldn't get bedridden, couldn't get out of bed. It was just like it was the worst thing ever. I was like, oh my god. So hearing you, say like, oh, you're on the show and you sound, relatively healthy. So that's it's crazy.
Yeah. What about you, Jason? How you been?
I should have gone first. I'm fine. Full stop.
Doing well.
You know what?
What-
The last number of months, actually, my knees are hurting more. My back is hurting more because I've just been so lazy.
Oh,
And
no.
you can just look in the mirror and go, "Oh yeah, I see where that extra pound is gone," and "Oh yeah, there's a new one." And
Oh,
I'm
no.
just getting older and not helping myself out. So after a few months, you feel sorry for yourself. You're like, "Oh, this sucks. My life sucks." And I might as well eat. So
Oh, man.
any poor feelings that I have, I brought on myself. Other than that, guys, I'm great.
That's awesome. Shout out to hell.
What's been the you get all this extra time, so are you like going through your backlog of things that you wanted to binge? Are you like rediscovering your Steam library? Are you, what games are you playing?
Right. I have 2 children.
Shout
And
out.
Shout out. Whoop. And so my kids and my son and I play a lot of video games. So
Oh,
we've got NHL, we got FIFA. I take advantage of the 2 free games per month with the PlayStation.
Yeah.
So anything that's come out in the last 5 months from PlayStation, I've finished all of those.
Whoa.
So yeah, I'm a night owl. I stay up quite late. I get up early.
How
Or-
late?
2, 3 sometimes.
Okay.
Oof.
Okay.
Yeah.
I feel you.
Okay.
I feel you. I was like, you should
And,
jump on that Fall Guys. That was free this month on PlayStation.
I got it. I haven't started it yet. I was really disappointed that Modern Warfare 2 was strictly campaign because
Yeah. You play for online.
I don't play online.
Oh.
I'm a 45-year-old man who's terrible at video games, and I just can't stand getting my butt kicked by 13-year-olds with very foul language. So I don't
understand
play
that.
online.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I also prefer to only get my butt kicked by 13-year-olds with only the Queen's English. Like that's what I prefer.
Only the
like,
Queen's
I
English.
want them to be able to be polite, but also be very condescending. That's what I enjoy.
Nice.
I wish the world was like that online. Everyone being like sarcastic and posh at the same time.
Yeah, polite but
That's-
condescending.
Yes,
That's nice.
polite
Well,
and
it's like when you play
condescending.
with Canadians, that happens.
Not the
Wow.
Canadians I play with.
The ones when I was playing Destiny a lot, we
Oh,
had
yeah.
a group that we were like the ones that were kind of part of our like little Xbox guild. They were from Vancouver, and they were always very nice. But like they'd be like, "Oh man, you messed up there," and it's just like, "Oh, I feel bad. Like I'm sorry."
That is nice. That's rare. We have a deep, dark undercurrent of just bad, impolite people in this country. So,
That's all on
That
the
is a
east,
thing.
right? That's all on the East Coast.
we got them here.
Oh, yeah.
we got him.
We have them here, and
Wherever
they're
we are, it's not here. It's
they're
else.
all-
It's over there.
all Canucks fans.
Oh.
Not Maple Leafs fans.
Josh,
that was
Josh the other
intense.
day called them the Toronto Maple Leaves.
I don't know. I mean, like leaves is the correct,
Yeah,
These are facts.
and they're like,
know.
no, we're Canadian, so leaf us.
I know we
Leafs.
kicked into sports there. Sorry, I'm not a sports guy, but yeah, that struck me as funny.
So,
So-
for our
Yes, Tom?
I was gonna say for our audience at home who may be brand new listeners to What's Up Fandom, what is What's Up Fandom, and how did that name came up to be, baby?
Jason, do you remember how that name came up to be? It was a lot of spitballing of me bouncing names off of you.
Yeah, you sent me a lot of different names.
Well, we originally had a podcast called Animation Station Podcast that we started back in 2016. And we put ourselves in a hole because it was me and my co-host Gavin, and he's an artist and I watch too much stuff. So that's kind of that was our dynamic. He loves Disney and Pixar, and Pixar to me, like there's only been one good Pixar movie and the rest of them are kind of garbage.
What?
Yeah, I'm sorry. A Bug's Life is the best one, and
I
after
love
that,
Bug's
they all
Life.
just kind of go downhill. They're all kind of almost the same story, really.
Wow.
Like the Marvel movies, very much.
Well, yeah,
like
because they take the same
story.
formula. It's
Yeah, and
always
I'm
like
not a fan
we're
about
lost, go get the thing. But then Bug's Life, if you think about it, it is just Seven Samurai.
Yes, very much so.
Seven Samurai with a little bit of slavery in there.
A teeny bit,
Yeah,
bit.
and that's what it
We
was.
just sprinkled some on top.
But yeah, I thought it like so we started the show like that, and then he went off to go do the Podcateers, which is some Disney thing.
Mouseketeers.
That sounds accurate.
So I was just like, oh, whatever. So then I bounced around with a bunch of co-hosts, and but the main thing that I started doing was a lot of interviews. So we've had voice actors, directors, creators, artists, comic book authors and creators on the show. And that's pretty much what we do. According to our Instagram, we are a fandom culture in demand podcast with discussions, debates, and interviews. We cover movies, television, comics, animation, books, games, space, and more. So, not space. There was a space. There's a comma space, just like in the name.
But why not?
But why not
Exactly.
space? Yeah, I like
Why not
that.
space? We talk about space is our next episode that comes out. What's today? Tomorrow.
Ooh.
We do Star Trek Lower Decks.
Oh yeah.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Well, animated series for Star Trek.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So yeah, so space. We can add that in the bio.
Everything.
But it got to the point where I was kind of tired of just doing animation. So it's like, let's rebrand. We'll do What's Up Fandom. And Jason isn't even a host or a co-host. He's
not
like,
even a host.
He's like my person that I can call
This Canadian
an hour before I record because somebody backed out. That's Jason to me, and that's the Jason that I know and love.
Aw.
I just sit by the phone waiting for a call.
Man. Whenever I do call, like the booth that he's in right now, he has to go over, like there's a little statue of Mozart. He has to like open the thing and press the button and then
Button.
there
Slide
you go.
down.
Slide down the fire. Yeah.
Yep.
I see that.
Yeah.
I just imagine every time you're like sitting next to the phone that like it's Guy Love is playing in the background. And you're just like, there's like this whimsical, like the anime style roses and sparkles, like dreaming of Josh
You know,
picking up the phone.
Caitlin, we've never met, but you get me.
I'd like to
you,
think that whenever I meet him, like what happened when we recorded with you guys, like my friend canceled, and I was like, oh, Jason Senpai, we need you. And then he was
Notice
there for
me.
Notice me.
Jason slowly turns. You need me to notice you, Joshi-chan.
I like Joshi Chan. That's good. I want the Chan too. I don't want the Coon. I want the Joshi Chan.
Of course.
How was the,
I mean, yeah, go ahead, Josh.
how was the process of
sorry.
rebranding? how has the process of rebranding been for you? Because I mean, it's like you go for years as one thing, and then you're like, nah, never mind. Oh, we want to do this thing. Like, has it just been more? It sounds like it's almost more freeing because you're like, oh wait, now I don't have to pigeonhole myself. Now my topics can be, I can span a greater gamut of topics and stuff like that. How has the process been?
It's been really good. I haven't seen a dip in our episodes, so that's been good. Yeah, it was one of those where it just happened. We did the rebrand on our 4th anniversary, so that was like, it was like, well, the first like day one would be perfect because that's literally when we had the first, and so so we just were like, 4th anniversary, we're going to take everything that they loved and destroy it, and
good.
and then replace it with something, and we did,
Just like full on bazooka. Like, well, it was nice.
exactly.
Tasteful subversion.
But yeah, it's been good. I mean, like the social media stuff. It's like I can't ever tell if anything. People leave and then come back on social, so like that doesn't really matter. My main thing is like the views, and like the views haven't dipped. So I guess
your core crew is still there with you.
Yeah.
That's a big deal, just because like you establish for 3 years, and what your brand is and what you can guarantee your audience, and then to change that up, you have the time old phrase, I don't like change. So it's very, I think it's kind of courageous to like still have that, instead of just being like, all right, cut the show, make a brand new show, and hope everyone migrates over. Because I think that's what I think a lot of the streamers had to worry about with like Mixer dying, or like the Twitch contracts and like getting kicked off there, going to YouTube or stuff like that. It is a tough thing for the day of digital media and content creation to do that. So,
but
kudos.
it's like a good sign that you've actually cultivated a community with what you're doing, and not just like there's like getting numbers. You can farm numbers from anything, but it's like when you have a really core community there with you who's just as excited as you are about what you're doing and creating and the things you're talking about, and when those people shift over with whatever kind of decision changes you make because they want to support your creativity and your content creation, that's awesome.
Yeah.
Like, so that's wonderful to hear.
So
it's been nice, and it has been very freeing to just kind of do whatever we want now. Like Jason and I did an episode with Jonathan Mawberry, who is an author who did the Rotten Ruin series. What was that? The werewolf thing, Jason?
It's a crazy name. The Wolfman.
The Wolfman, that's it. He did.
Wild.
He wrote the novelization of the film.
nice.
Oh.
Starring, who was in that?
Benicio del Toro.
Yeah.
Anthony
And
Hopkins.
Anthony Hopkins.
Anthony Hopkins.
Yeah. It's my favorite werewolf movie. And I had no clue he had done that. And I said that. And he goes, oh, I wrote So, of course, I got stars in my eyes. And it was a very cool moment.
What?
Yeah.
Can you introduce me to Anthony Hopkins?
Jason's definitely the one, like, with that, like, Jonathan, like, he's a 4-time, the award winner.
Yeah.
What's it?
Edgar Allan Poe.
I don't think it was Poe.
No, it's an author. I can't remember.
Yeah. Scary horror author person.
Yeah.
Scary horror author person.
R.L.
Oh,
Stein?
that's my favorite one.
R.L. Stein, yeah.
Yes, of the R.L. Stein award winning.
Scary horror author person.
Yeah, I can't
description
do
of R.L.
those.
Stine.
So
Roald Dahl. No.
I mean, he hates children, but it's a little different. Bram Stoker Awards.
Bram Stoker.
that's it. Yeah, he's like a 4-time like Bram Stoker award, and like
Thank
when
you,
I got
Google.
him on, I was like, cool. He writes a lot of horror stuff, and I'm a wuss bag. Jason, you like horror? Be on and talk with him about horror movies, and they did, and I was just kind of sat back and I was like,
You're like,
He's one of those
Nice.
dudes. We don't want to spend too much time on that, I know, but he's one of those dudes where you go, okay, he's a horror writer, and he's accomplished a lot of this stuff. But then you start talking to him, and the scope of his work, it just
Spans.
it's multiplies. It's huge, the work he's done. So
and he hasn't been doing it that long. What was it, like since 2006 was his first book?
yeah,
Wow.
oh,
And he's
Now
like
he's
already
working
has
comics and
yeah.
horror and movies, and he had a show on Netflix, and it's crazy.
You're like,
Wow.
dude, slow down.
Yeah, it's like
pretty much
keep up with
feeling
Let
like
us
that.
catch up, please.
he's definitely the poster child of it's never too late in life. Because
I need
he's like a
Me
fourth
too.
degree black belt in
hell yeah.
jujitsu, and like he's in like the
People.
like the black belt hall, like the karate hall of fame or something, or the martial arts hall of fame.
Oh, the
apologize.
Miyagi Hall of Fame.
And it was just like, good lord, like this guy's done so much stuff. And then he was like, yeah, I started to write a book, and boom, and you're like, oh, okay. Met
No, he has
to
George
learn
A.
those
Romero.
So
and
you just decided to pick up a pen and just make a okay.
Great.
Pretty much.
Thanks.
The power of
Became-
belief, baby.
Became friends with George Romero, and yeah. Anyways, we're not him.
That does give our audience a little bit insight of what they can expect from your guys' show. But I do want to ask something for that. I was recently listening to some episodes, and I wanted you to kind of talk about a little, I don't know, it was kind of made as a joke, but what have you settled on? Because before, your audience was known as the Aspers, ASPERs, for animation. What is the new name for your audience?
Well,
for What's Up Fandom?
For What's Up Fandom, it's Woof.
Woof.
So if you subscribe,
What's Up, woofers?
yeah, if you subscribe to us, you're a subwoofer.
Oh.
It's really good. It's really
Pretty good.
good.
That's all we got.
I thought
We
you were
can
gonna
stop
go
recording
with,
now.
like woofers, which was like World Organization of Organic Food.
Wow.
Not
that's-
quite.
Close though.
How did you decide that? Because I feel like on the show you just kind of just came with it on the spot.
Yeah, that's how it happened.
Wow.
We were just talking about it. Was that Oliver and I were just talking about
Yeah.
that? Yeah. And we were just like talking, and it was like, I don't know, maybe subwoofers. And then it happened, and it was just like, all right,
just
there we go,
fall
done.
into place.
Yeah.
Something's just fall into place. That's crazy. So I mean, it's funny that you guys now the show and in the description that you've read off, and also started in 2016, just like us. And it's
It's a
taken
good
us
time to
this,
start.
yeah, it's taken us this long for us for us to just finally do a show together. What happened? What's going on? So much time.
There are millions of podcasts. out there.
There's
These are-
1.2 on iTunes. So
Josh actually
million
reached out
on-
to us. He found our
Oh.
contact sheet.
Oh,
We were noticed by Senpai.
no, it's Josh
Guy
Chan.
Love was playing.
yeah. Joshy Chan was like, "Oh, how about these guys?" And we reached out.
Josh-chan.
Well, actually, they had Jeff Nimoy on their show as well.
Yeah.
Jeff is a friend of Nerd On. He's been on a few times. But yeah, they had Jeff doing his little
Nice.
circuit for Famish, which is an amazing movie that everybody needs to check out.
Agreed.
But no, so obviously you've talked a little bit about like one of the guests that you've had on, but out of all the guests you guys have spoken to, in no particular order, was there some that were the most like surprising that you had, or just some of the best ones that you didn't expect were going to be phenomenal?
Choose your favorite top 3 right now. Everyone else sucks. That's what Tom said.
No particular order.
I would say probably the number one that's meant the most to me in the show is probably Jason Simpson. Just because
It's
I mean, like,
love.
it's like because we met because I had Jesse and not Paula, Raquel on before, and then I don't think I met you until it was anime. It was AWA, wasn't it? Atlanta.
Yeah.
Yeah, and that's where we met, and it was just kind of like, hey, yeah, like if you want to come on the show, be on the show. And then now you've been on like 7 episodes. So, yeah.
And now to our audience, you are What's Up Fandom.
It's true.
Yeah, congrats. You're the host that
Officially
is
part.
now here.
Co-host.
Yeah.
Phil Lamar was really cool. I think
yeah.
his episode really kind of like bumped us up there. Anytime we do any of like the Dragon Prince episodes, they always do really well for us. The same with like the Miraculous Ladybug episodes.
Oh,
Those
Christina?
always do well. We've not had Christina on, but we've had Bryce and Mella on quite a few times.
Yeah.
They're very nice. Jules de Jong, she's in England, I believe.
Oh.
She was the voice of like 4 of the characters in Wake Fu back in the day before Netflix got it and redubbed everybody.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Shout out to Netflix.
Yeah. May they continue to do well.
Hire us, please. Please, more jobs. Also, love you, Netflix.
Yeah. Like
Love you, Netflix.
If you need any podcasts, holla.
Yeah. Ooh, that'd be crazy. if
I've
Netflix
been
started doing
trying, man. I'm like, hey, y'all need like a podcast to like promote your stuff.
Yeah. That is like at least $1,000 idea.
It is.
At least.
At least
minimum.
$1,000.
Bare minimum
At
$1,000.
least. It's not like $100 idea. It's not, I don't know if it's a $1 billion idea, but it's at least 1,000.
Just some.
In a Heartbeat was really good. We had them on like 2 weeks before their short came on. We had Beth and Esteban. I don't know. I love all of our episodes. They're all great. There was the episode
That's
that we
the
did
safe
with
answer,
you
yeah.
guys. It's not come out yet. That was okay.
That one's all right.
That one's okay. Oh, is it because I wasn't on? It probably
Yeah,
would have been good then, huh?
Yeah, we didn't have
Wow.
Caitlin on, so
Well, she was too busy playing Raph, the real friends.
That's true.
So
There's
Wow.
just butthurt. I played.
There's
games
so much
without
pain in this conversation.
no, so much therapy is happening in this session.
I got to meet one of my childhood heroes, like Joshua
Oh.
Seth.
Oh, yes.
Because I loved Digimon growing up.
Same,
And I got to chat with
same.
him, and he's going to be coming back on soon. So I'm.
Tom was like,
that
"Can I come
that
too?"
was really cool.
Yeah.
I just want to see Agumon's last evolution, baby. You know, with his voice in it. So, it's fun to see. I mean, also you kind of threw us a little bit of a curveball. We're doing something kind of different for our audience, and we typically have our guests come in and we talk a little bit about them, and then the later half we will talk about something they don't normally get a chance to talk about. So, like with Jonathan Frakes, we got to talk about Roma or Totoro. And Jeff Nimoy, we were able to talk about like Star Wars or whatever the new things he's working on because he just is busy all the time. So, so with you guys, we didn't have like something that's like, okay, what's your guys' favorite movie, and we're going to talk about it. You guys came up with
Who
a
would do
prompt.
that? Like on a thing where you're just like, "What's your favorite movie?" That's like a boring thing to ever.
That's like a
do.
fandom thing. Who does that?
Who does that?
But
What's
I mean,
up with that?
I know fandom. It just like in normal Joshy Chan branding, this show got hijacked, rules got changed, and we are going to be sharing or pitching our ideal movie /series. So that's a little interesting and fun. So
Yes.
I mean, I've never done one of these before. So Joshy Chan,
You've never done one of these at IHOP at like 2 a.m?
Oh,
I've done like
Thousands
that.
of
How
times.
very specific.
The closest thing I've done to this was like with our other host Corey, and it's been like, yo, dog, what if they make like, a new X-Men? Who would you want? And then it's like, that's what we do.
the Muppet Babies.
No.
I worked at like my first job was at a movie theater, and so on usually Friday and Saturday nights, we made it to where just we as the managers closed so that we could be there for the entire time, just kind of like chat and get paid. because it was the Wild West back in 2005 to 8, and they didn't care about money. So we would
we were young.
we would stay there, and then we would go, like, the last movie would get done, and it'd be around like 1:00. We would till out all the machines, everything, make sure everything was clean. So it'd be about 2:00, and then we would go to IHOP, and we would just chat and just have a good time, because IHOP's the only thing open at 2:00 in the morning in Shawnee, Oklahoma.
That sounds accurate.
Shout out.
Shout out to Sean.
Mine was a Johnny's.
It's Shompton. That's what they prefer to be called. Is
Shompton?
Shompton. It is the Compton of Oklahoma.
Straight out of Shompton.
You
But,
laugh, but that was Shawnee High School's graduating classes like theme in 2018 was straight out of Shompton.
Oh, that's something.
Hell yeah.
I've done quite a few midnight IHOP trips, and yeah, I could say that's definitely a good time to have like those dumb conversations where you're hanging out with, like, to me this is before like car.
You say
like,
dumb. I think galaxy brain conversations.
Well, this is like like me and my rest of my nerdy friends were talking about like girls, or talking about like where we can go for where we're going to go to college and all that stuff. It's like, I don't know.
You guys are
And
talking
it's
about
like,
boring. Sorry, you and your friends sound boring. Girls in college.
we were trying to figure out our lives. We were all getting, pressure from our parents, like, if you do not go to college. I'm like, oh God, so it was stressful. And that was the only chance for us to talk with
Leave me
people
alone.
who are,
It was
who are
stressful.
our age. You don't know me. Anyway, so, but no, so I kind of want to see what your thoughts were first, Joshi Chan. Yeah, that's gonna be your name now,
Joshi Chan.
Joshi Chan.
Joshi Chan.
Yeah, when you do it, you have to trail out the Joshi Chan.
Chan.
Like that.
Chan.
There you go.
What was you? And you also have several.
Yeah, I cheated.
Several prompts.
Oh, we also
Like-
need to establish that Josh always breaks the rules.
Always.
Yeah, that's his brand.
That's
Joshi
He gives
Chan.
everybody else a prompt and then he breaks it.
Joshi Chan, breaker of rules.
yes.
First of his name.
His name. Yeah. So I've got like 3 good ones, and then
Well,
an
that's
all
to
right
be
one.
determined.
I mean, I think they're all great.
Good. I like your enthusiasm.
One of them, I kind of, Jason, you kind of know. It was a tweet I did earlier this week. I want to see a Relic Hunter reboot. Do you guys remember Relic Hunter from UP? It's like that same. It was around that same time that Andromeda was on. You guys remember Andromeda with
I
Kevin
know Andromeda.
Sorbo?
Yeah.
It was a long
And,
time.
Disappointed.
Let's see, because it would go like Cleopatra 2525.
Oh yeah, I remember UP used to have
Beastmaster.
these like weird sci-fi that weren't sci-fi. It felt like it's like they're not on sci-fi, but they should be.
The Lost World, like Sir Arthur Conan Doyle's The Lost World.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like those type of shows. I love those type of shows.
Okay.
And like Relic Hunter starred Tia Carrere and Jason, who was Nigel?
Oh my God.
Uh,
I totally forgot about Tia.
I just know him as Nigel.
Nigel was
Yeah.
Christian Anholt.
Chris. Okay.
Yes.
But I wanna reboot it with
Oh, Lindy Booth is in there.
with Karen Fukuhara and as Sydney Harper. And then I want I was thinking for Nigel Bailey. I want someone who can be funny but also be serious. So I went with like I don't know how to pronounce his name correctly. Skylar Gizzadono from Santa Clarita Diet.
Okay.
Oh, the kid.
The kid, yeah.
Yeah. Oh, that's good. That's good.
I think it would be great because I would like to see him in that serious role, but I do know that he can be kind of funny. So I was like, yeah, I think that would be really good. But yeah, Relic Hunter, it's like a mix between Uncharted and like Indiana Jones, where she's like a professor at some school that was supposed to be in California, but it was all filmed in Canada. So
It was, wasn't it?
Yes.
Probably in Toronto.
You know who's in an episode of Relic Hunter that I just watched?
Nope.
Yannick. His
Of
son.
course.
I was like,
Of
it's
course.
Murdoch. Actually, he's a Canadian treasure. Yannick
Canadian
Besson.
treasure. He is.
Yeah.
He is.
So it would have to be on the CBS All Access app
Oh yeah.
because that's the
Give it some
parent
edge.
the parent company.
Yeah,
Paramount.
I mean, it's one of those like I'm sure who has the rights to Relic
got
Hunter.
lapsed.
Like I'm sure those like after 2003 they were like and like didn't care anymore. So I just want somebody to pick it up. But I think it would be cool to have like a grittier reboot because again it was UPN in like 1999, so like you can't get like too crazy with it. But I think it would be really cool to have something now. Plus,
what's your vibe with it? So you said it was like Uncharted meets Indiana Jones. What does your grittier feel like?
Well, I mean, like with like Uncharted and Indiana Jones, like there was never like the violence was very much that like Alias was more violent than Relic Hunter was.
Got it.
I mean, yeah, you could mix it with Alias too. 'Cause, I mean,
Okay.
just like be a woman, so it's like kicking ass and doing whatever she needs to do to get the job done. It's like, well, yeah, that was Sydney Harper.
Okay, I see that. All right, Jason, do you have one?
Please tell me you have
do.
more than one, and I'm not the
No.
only one that just has
Guys,
one.
I failed. Really
We'll
hard
go
on this
around.
one.
We'll go around.
I failed really hard because I kept thinking of great ideas that I then realized were actual ideas
Oh
that are
no.
already out there. But listen, there's two things I really love. I love werewolves, and I love westerns. And I would love to see.
Ooh.
I'd love to see a movie, but I would also like to see like a 10-episode Netflix run of. But I'm not sure how it would. I'm not sure how it would come together if it was just cowboys fighting werewolves. I love the idea of the werewolves. I like good guys.
What if it's like Van Helsing, westernery, but then like you get the werewolf side of it, so it's like it's like a drama between the two. I don't know.
Now you're talking the film.
No,
Van
I want
Helsing.
just like Van Helsing the character. Like you just take him, put him in a western setting.
Yeah. Yeah.
Can do that because he's like
Minus-
technically a monster hunter.
Yeah. Now, see, Van Helsing, I had great hopes for that because I love the monster genre, and I love.
Cape
Probably said
Beckinsale.
this way too many times. I love the idea of a squad. So like a team of people who all have special skills and they go in and they kick butt. I love the idea of the monster aspect of that as well. If only there was a movie that had monsters as a squad.
I think you're onto
Space
something.
Jam. Oh.
But I love the idea, like what we were talking before, where it's a lot more grittier and violent. Because Van Helsing, the movie itself, is it's just goofy. And it
Yeah.
just doesn't do
It's
it.
so
I will say
campy but fun.
I did love how he ripped his own skin off. I'm like, that's so metal.
It's one of my
Yeah, that was
favorite
cool.
werewolf transformations.
Yeah,
Of
I
like
thought it was
thinking
pretty good.
back, like it's like, oh my god,
So
You didn't like
it
when
would
Michael
be-
J. Fox
it-
turned into a werewolf?
that was
That's
good
a pretty
too.
good transformation. He's like,
That's pretty good.
Doc, like that. And it's just like, what? I wish he would have said Doc. It
I
would've
saw
been
Teen Wolf as one of the top movies in the Apple TV store recently. I was like,
Wow.
new life.
making a resurgence. It was the movie, not the series.
Yeah, the movie.
Oh,
Ah.
yeah. It's a good
Wow.
movie.
So Jason, back
So-
to your Western werewolf man.
That's where I've got it so far, but
Okay.
minus the cheese and just visceral. Again, Wolfman, it just had that sort of edge to it, and a lot of people didn't like it, and maybe they thought the transformation was cheesy. But I'm a Rick Baker fan. Dan
Rick Baker's
Winston,
Madman.
Tom Savini, yeah, and just if you get all those practical effects, it just takes a lot more time and probably more money. But I'm all in for that kind of stuff, and throw it in the Wild West. Oh yeah, to me that'd be a perfect movie if it was done properly.
Have you
And
cast it?
Well, I'm in it so far.
That's good.
That's as far as
As
I've gotten.
Wolfman or
I'm
Cowboy
employing
Man?
myself, so
No,
What are
I'd
you-
be the guy. I'd be the guy that the hunter, comes across in the woods, and I'd say, well, "I've been in these woods for
you're
50
the old hermit.
years. I've got stories that'll make your blood boil, son." Something I don't know.
Jason,
like
can
That's
I
a
be
rough
in it
draft.
as like
Yeah.
I just want to be like the first person in like episode 1 who's
That
like
gets
walking through like in the dark or whatever in wherever New Mexico this is.
Yeah.
And that will be filmed in Canada.
Vancouver.
In Vancouver.
Yeah, that sounds right.
Sunny sunny, deserty Vancouver. I want to be like walking through the forest, and I want to be attacked, and
Absolutely.
just be like that. That's what I want.
Yeah,
We'll put you in a red plaid shirt just so it's red, just so we have that
Yes.
little wink.
You'd be the cold open kill.
I would love to be the cold open kill. That's
You're all
that's
invited.
like-
You're all
In fact,
invited.
that
That's
can
the
be
one
your
thing
credit.
I've wanted to do. And like, if I could be in anything in Star Trek, I want to be like first guy dead. Like, that's what I want. I want to be like,
You
want
wanna
to
be the red shirt.
Like, I want to be like a red shirt, or if we go into later seasons, a yellow shirt. That's what I want. I want to beam down to the planet. I want to sink through the floor of the Enterprise. That's what I want to be. I want to be person that dies.
I wouldn't,
you'd be
I
like,
wouldn't
"Hey,
mind getting sucked
have
out of
you
the
seen it?"
airlock.
That's me.
High career goals, dude.
Yeah.
Sadly, I can't be in it because Westerns aren't too fond of Asian people. So unless it's a
Screw that.
fantasy,
Screw that. If it's
I mean, werewolves.
werewolves.
exactly.
Didn't they have Shanghai Noon?
Yep. And everyone did kung fu in there. I'm like,
Shanghai Moon.
oh,
guys,
that's it.
we're onto something.
I'm here for it now.
Shanghai.
I'm invested.
Now, how do I, 45-year-old white dude, not make that super racist? I would need
Just put me
serious-
as executive producer, and then
There
it's
you
like,
go.
all right, there you go.
Done.
Done.
We got the name.
We're gonna pitch it to Netflix. Hey Netflix, we know you're listening. So
His last name has 12
Give us a
letters.
call.
Can we get the guy from Into the Badlands in it?
Yes.
Because he's a badass. So
Oh,
He's
Ross?
such a badass.
The guy that was in Tomb Raider.
it wasn't Tomb Raider.
Yeah.
He can be in Relic Hunters.
He could be in
all
all of
this
them.
cross-
We're just gonna put everybody in this. It's all like one big cinematic universe. The
Daniel Wu?
all of
the
this
nerd
industry.
on What's Up Fandom cinematic universe.
Cinematic universe. Ooh, I like it.
The
No Woof.
The No Woof CU. The No Woof coup.
The no wolf, but there are wolves.
Yes.
Did we? I just got to Google and make sure there is no Shanghai Moon because, guys, I'm going to roll with this. So
I love it. I love the idea.
The Shanghai Moon
movie.
is the adult video version of Shanghai
I'm officially
Noon.
out of this conversation now. I'm going to be busy Googling and writing.
I think that's Shanghai Poon. But
That one's
no,
better. Shanghai Poon is
Tom.
better. Yeah.
that's the adult one.
No.
No. Josh, Caitlin, what's your guys' ideal show series pitch manner?
Well, I
Caitlin?
think
Josh,
for my
what is it?
other
What
one,
is it?
oh, you meant the other.
Oh god. Here we are. The Chan at the end. You got to listen for that.
I know I'm not used to it. I gotta learn.
So, Caitlin.
Kaylin?
Oh, threw it back at me. All right. So the kind of show that I would want to create would be I'm very hooked on Midnight Diner. I don't know if you guys have heard of that before.
Shout out to Netflix.
It's a show in Japan at like this little bar, and this guy called the Master runs it, and he has the same menu every night, but the guests come in and they can ask for whatever as long as he's got the ingredients. They have to bring it otherwise, and each episode is based on like a dish, and the story is based around like their personal experiences connected to this dish. So that is the show that I love, and the show that I would love to create would be kind of an interdimensional
Cafe.
diner where this person is running this diner, and all of like it would be very surface level, so you could not have to deal with all the IPs, but like different characters from different shows coming into the diner.
So Space
And,
goes
like,
coast to coast.
Basically, but a little more grounded, not as comedy, more like different perspectives coming from different worlds. Because just like in the real worlds, like going to IHOP at 2 a.m, you're gonna see a colorful cast of characters. Maybe there's the family on their way to grandma's. Maybe there's like the punk rock band that's on tour. Maybe there's like a little old lady eating by herself, and you're like, why is she here? And it would give you all these different perspectives from all these different worlds, so that it could kind of ground that kind of 2 a.m. diner experience and give you those perspectives of all these different kind of lives, but kind of remove you from it, the reality enough that you can kind of put yourself in those shoes a little bit more.
So,
And then
is the master from Doctor Who?
no.
Okay.
So in my mind,
No.
because I love layering concepts, in my mind, the person who's running the diner is actually a writer who is trying to conceptualize all of these different people he's met in his life.
So Stephen King.
Yeah, Sure.
Okay.
Why not?
Stephen King, and the restaurant is the Dark Tower, and it just between all
Not
the
at all.
universes.
You're going a different direction, but because you don't have the creative stint in my mind, because I know that you function differently than I do. How I view
in
things.
pitch, you kind of do mix of like, hey, it's Scream mixed with Fight Club with a clueless twist. It's like,
I didn't know that
you
we were
like things
pitching.
a lot grittier than I do. So
I like how
this
yours
would
is
be
this
less
really
gritty.
cool thought out thing, and mine's like, I want Relic Hunter. It's like,
Caitlin, would the tone be like a sort of like a Twilight Zone-y sort of surreal sort of feel, or
more grounded than that.
yeah? Okay.
So it would feel like you're walking into an IHOP at 2 a.m. Like it would have that very realistic feeling of like you're walking into an IHOP at 2 in the morning. The grounding, like think of like Gumball, like how Gumball has very realistic sets sometimes, but then you have all these different kind of, you have sometimes they're like CG, sometimes they're cartoon. There's a variety of things that are walking in. And that would be more representative of the different perspectives that they have as they're coming in. And it's like a visual representation. And like you already understand when you look at them that like they're going to have a different perspective than you do.
That doesn't sound grounded at all. Okay, but
It depends on the execution though, because it can look very fantastical but feel very grounded.
Well, like one of my favorite OG Twilight Zone episodes is like the guy in the diner, and it's like this alien telling this dude, he's like, we're aliens and we're taking over the world. It's like, ha ha ha. And then like he reveals he has a third eye. Yeah. And then like at the big twist, sorry everyone, spoilers, the guy he's talking to is another alien race. And it's like, actually, we're taking over. We destroyed your fleet. And he has a third arm. And that's it. It's very simple. It's just them talking about it. And then it's like, you thought all this long that you were taking over, we're taking over. And the guy with the third eye's like, oh shit, I gotta go.
Yeah, that's the kind of
so Twilight Zone.
Closer in line.
I'm kidding. So not Joshy Chan, but regular Joshy Coon.
Josh Coon. Josh Coon. Josh Chan.
There are two kinds of. I was thinking more series based for myself. I love movies, but like to have ideas like really unfold. These ideas that I have, I think would be cool as series. There are two types of shows that usually grab my interest. It's usually like dark comedies, or something that like also very stylistic shows like Umbrella Academy, dark comedies. Like even Dexter is like a dark comedy sometimes. So like two ideas that come to my mind are, I also love The Walking Dead, the comic book series, and I like the show. I think it would be cool to have a series that is the zombie apocalypse, but it's like way in the future where the zombie apocalypse has happened and the world has kind of basically come back. It's not totally come back, but I always thought that it would be interesting to have the idea of like, so when the zombie apocalypse first happened, this guy is stuck in a house and there's like a horde going through his like it's coming to attack. And I haven't figured out the logistics of why this would happen, but he has a baby and he has to make the decision and he leaves the baby there. And nothing happens to the baby, and somehow the baby's found, and the baby grows up, and like later on, somehow they're reunited, and it's like I don't know. It was like an idea that had come to me because I was thinking of like the Carl and Rick dynamic of just like the father son and the zombie apocalypse kind of. Carl, no. But it just made me think of a little bit of that, of just like this like dynamic duo. But I don't know. It was just an idea. I don't know all the logistics. I didn't go through super detailed. It's just like that is the general idea.
I mean, it sounds like dealing with a lot of like relationships and mental health, because you'd also be dealing with like the PTSD of you have zombies that can pop out of anywhere at any point in time, but you're also dealing with like reconciling hard decisions that were made in the past that affect you in the present.
I mean, would you? I mean, yeah, I guess there was always going to be PTSD. PTSD is non-genre specific, but I was going to say like if something's a normal fact, but I was going to say like car accidents give people PTSD, so you wouldn't have. I was going to say like 'cause zombies, if it's normal, it's an interesting play.
It's almost the world that I almost liken it to is almost like the Last of Us world, where society is kind of it's ish back. There are towns and societies that have managed to build themselves back up and have some sort of semblance of
their own normalcy.
Of your normalcy in this new world, but I get so kind of tired of the zombie apocalypse is like happening right now kind of thing, where it's like, but
it's panic. It's panic porn.
Yeah, panic porn. Whereas like, but what about like afterwards? Like sometimes when I'm watching those kinds of movies or shows, I'm like, but I want to know like the future of it. Like it can't be like this all the time.
Be happy in the prison for like a season and a half, and then battle happened to the prison, and then
then it goes bad.
And then no one watches the show anymore. I'm kidding.
My other idea is a dark comedy.
Let me go next, and then we'll go round robin.
Oh, I didn't know. Okay,
because Joshy-chan. That's like five.
Okay, don't go.
I've already said this one before, but this one I'll help you out, Joshy-chan. This is also an IP. So this is already being in production, so it kind of sucks that, it's going to happen without me. But I was thinking like a trilogy of Blue Beetle films. And this is DC Comics, Blue Beetle. Originally Ted Kord, and he like got his mantle. So Ted Kord's the second one, and then Jaime Reyes is the third one. But my story would start with Jaime Reyes. And be a 3-part trilogy, but they're all individual films, yada. Anyway, so I'm thinking much more kind of like in the lines of not really MCU, not really DC, what they've already established, but a little bit of like, there are things that are established, there are things that aren't established already, and they talk you through it. But Jaime Reyes is typically in New Mexico, and Hispanic, Latinx, whatever is easier for you to categorize it as. But he's like a skater dude, right? And most of his friends are actually like different descendants of indigenous people. And so what I really wanted to kind of have as like this social subtext is kids going missing and having this conversation of like human trafficking. And what you find out is like Ted Kord brings his facilities to this city where they live in to kind of be like, we're going to try to get kids into these after school programs to get into into technology, coding, and design and mechanical engineering. But all this is happening while like random kids in the high school will be missing. So there's a little bit of high school vibe and stuff like that. Not kind of Amazing Spider-Man, but except the main character isn't a complete douchebag. And what ends up happening is Ted Kord gets killed by Deathstroke, an assassin. And when this assassination happens, an explosion happens, and then Jaime Reyes gets bonded with this scarab. And the scarab, if you're familiar in DC Comics, is alien technology. It's the one piece of technology that Ted Kord never was able to decipher or understand because it's alien. But it bonds with them. There's a little bit of that venomy, like, oh, I want to kill things, but no, we can't. So there's that comedy aspect of it. What you end up finding out is that Deathstroke has actually been the one kidnapping these kids, but they're not just, kids. They're all kids with the meta gene. They all have superpowers. And so he's kidnapping them so that he can take them off and then sell them to the highest bidder to whoever country wants to create super soldiers. And then it comes to a head where, they fight, and, Ted Kord had become like this mentor character for Jaime Reyes, and Jaime Reyes defeats him, yada, yada. The next few films would kind of like go into like how Jaime Reyes has to learn how to use his abilities better than just, an impulse. And you bring in the other young heroes like Wally West Flash and Beast Boy, and how they all had their mentors, but Jaime Reyes never did. And so there's a little bit of a conversation of like youths without, parents and adults and stuff like that. So, each film will have some kind of subtext about like real world problems, and not just be like, it's a hero movie and the good guys win, because I think those are boring. And they had to be about something. So that would be mine. Obviously, Warner Brothers would have the rights to it, and DC would have the rights to it. So I have no say in the word. And there's already HBO Max series gonna be making about it. So, but that was always my idea, is to do a 3-film thing. It's like self-contained. At the 3rd film, at the end of it, they would have like a team of young heroes, and that's it. You just end it. It's like, cool. Now they go off, and we're done. And like Jaime Reyes is now like ready to take on his own protege. So it's kind of like, I am going to be there for the people, for like to be the person that I never had.
What would you name this team of young superheroes?
I mean, they've typically been called the Titans, but I mean, the Titans is now another TV show, but I would just call them, I mean, they're typically Young Justice-y. Yeah, no, I mean, that would have been my thing, is just a full-on honed-in Blue Beetle. But I mean, the team, I have no idea.
The team.
That's where my thing ends off at.
That's how the series ends. They're all like standing, be like, man, we should come up with a team name. Put it on credits roll, and that's, you don't actually hear.
Just totally cut off before they have a chance.
Just like Fan 4 Stick.
Exactly, yeah.
That's fantastic. Oh, we'll say that one more time. Guys, I got the name. Ends. All right, so which Josh wants to go first for their second one?
You can go.
How many do you have, Josh?
I just have one more.
Okay, I'll go.
Yes.
So I want you guys know the Black Cauldron?
Yeah.
A wonderful movie from Disney
That
from
gets slept on.
1985.
Yeah.
4, 5, 6,
Sure.
something. A very underrated Disney film with the only Welsh princess, Miss Elionwe, who is always snubbed from Disney and replaced with people who aren't even princesses, to be fair.
Looking at you, Mulan.
I mean, I'm sorry. Technically, neither is Pocahontas or Merida. Just saying.
I mean, daughter of a chief, I feel like is pretty, like, that's high ranking.
That's
Just because she doesn't have a castle and, it's like,
That's
people,
a decisive
people
I can be
bathe
behind
me.
Pocahontas.
She doesn't
being
have the
princess.
title. I'm a title
I
snob.
guess. Okay. All right.
Wow.
Titleist.
I want a Chronicles of Prydain series so that we can actually do the Black Cauldron and like the Book of Three and like all these, wonderful things, but make it a series so that we can actually deep dive and be really cool about it. Because there's 5 books, so I mean you've got like 5 seasons right there. And we follow our wonderful cast of characters like Taryn and Elionwe and Fluterflam and the Horn King. But I want Jason Isaacs as the Horn King because I think that would be pretty fun for him to play.
Cool.
And then is it Robert Seahan? Is that his name from Umbrella Academy? Guy who plays Klaus.
I know faces
Oh,
better
God,
than
he's so good.
Yeah, I want him to be Fluterflam. He's like this, like, he's a bard and like a king of like a very small like country. So it's one of those like his country doesn't matter. So he's like half the time he's just like, I'm just gonna be a bard, and he just travels around and just is a traveling minstrel. So like, yeah, it's pretty fun. I think he would be really great at that. But I want like unknown characters for Taryn and Elionwe. And like get him in that like 15, 16-year-old range so that way they can grow through the series as they grow through the books.
Oh, yeah.
Not casting, like a 25-year-old or 30-year-old actor to play someone who's like 16 years old.
We're all in high school.
Yeah. I don't want the cast of Riverdale. I mean,
You don't want beautiful
here's the thing.
people?
If Cole Sprouse wants to be in it, I will let Cole Sprouse be in the series. I'm not gonna.
That's fair. Fair.
But yeah, I would love a Chronicles of Prydain series, but I think you would just call it like Prydain, and then you can just kind of like almost like The Witcher.
But I mean, for marketing purposes, they have to call it the Black Cauldron Chronicles because,
well,
they just don't think audiences are smart
and
enough.
Disney has the rights to it still. Like they went and like scooped up the rights again after the
just
movie
in case,
flopped.
Just in case,
Couldn't it be like a subtitle? Couldn't it be like Prydain and then subtitled The Black Cauldron Chronicles?
It's New Moon, the Twilight Saga.
Well, because I mean, like if you do it just as Prydain, then you could have it the Book of Threes and then the Black Cauldron, because since each episode, each new season would be the next title book.
Yeah, it's Mockingjay, the Hunger Games series.
Hunger Games series. Yeah,
it's like, we get it. You like it's what I mean. But
yeah,
you
I
never
think
know.
that would be cool because it's fantasy. It's very much Dungeons and Dragons. Like the entire thing is Dungeons and Dragons. And I think it would be really cool in this day and age because The Witcher's popular, Game of Thrones was popular.
Lord of the Rings, Amazon show is going to come out.
Yeah, so I think if Disney was smart, they would jump on it. But
Disney, we know you're listening.
This $60 billion company, if they were smart,
And you know where you could film? Canada.
In Vancouver.
Canada.
New Mexico?
I felt that coming.
Nothing screams, Welsh countryside like Canada.
Facts.
These are facts.
Have you been here?
I've seen pictures.
Dude, I'm basically in Wales.
Yeah.
Right now.
There's trees.
He's next to that
So-
ridiculously long.
Yeah.
Does anyone else have a second one? I have a second one, but does anyone else have
I'll
one?
let you go.
Yeah.
And I have another
Oh,
one too,
Jason, you have
actually.
one?
I have some dumb ones. I have really dumb ones.
Oh, I want to hear. I love them.
One of them.
I'm gonna keep it really quick. I'm kind of a fan of seeing what the bad guys are doing in movies,
Hell yeah.
as opposed to just following the heroes. So sort of in line with that, there's two. One would be called Boddicker, and we follow Clarence Boddicker through his life of crime before he runs into Murphy, and Murphy turns into RoboCop. And then that's the final ending. But if Boddicker
I love it.
Boddicker starts as, a decent dude, and then something happens with his family, and he spirals, and then the city just sort of implodes, and he takes advantage of that and becomes a bad guy. 10-episode arc on Netflix, maybe, or who knows?
I can see it.
They have a new Netflix series about the nurse from One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest.
That's right.
Yeah, so
Ratchet.
that totally fits.
The other one is not a bad guy so much, but Jaws is one of my favorite movies.
Bruce?
And what's that? Bruce?
Is the show called Bruce?
No, the show would be called Shaw. No, it wouldn't be called Shaw. That's who would star in it. But it's all about Robert Shaw's character, who was on the Indianapolis when he was younger, and he survived that, and he tells that great story. But I think it'd be interesting to see where, again, it always ends in, he's dead. We all know he's dead, but go back. What was he before he was a salty, sea captain, and before he was in the, the Navy and he got almost eaten by sharks? I think there's a lot of territory to explore there. No one's going to be as good as Robert Shaw, but it'd be fun to explore that. It's not as fun as Boddicker, but
that reminds me of if they were to do a movie about Samuel Jackson's character before Deep Blue Sea.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
Because you know how he's you think water's fast, see
funny.
ice. It's I want to see him kill people and eat them, possibly.
Interesting.
Because it's they put so much hype on you just survived living in an avalanche. What's that's like? And all of a sudden, now you're going underwater. And it's
That's a really
That's
good
probably
one.
one of my favorite movie moments ever. Epic speech and then shark.
And then spoiler.
The movie came out 36 years ago.
Yeah, fair enough. You know me. I like to be safe.
You and I are the same brain.
How about executive decision when, what's his face? Seagal gets sucked out of the airplane. What did he do before that? He wasn't a bad guy, but we just know that Seagal's a complete moron.
I don't know,
as a human
man.
being.
He knows Aikido, so
Yeah. So maybe that character had some fun. And who would we cast? I don't know. Tom Hardy.
yeah, I was Tom Hardy fits everywhere.
Yeah.
He does.
But also you could have Will Arnett. So
Tom Hardy as Quint in the prequel as Boddicker. Sure. Yeah. Those are mine. They're dumb. I also have another one. This is going to be a 10-second.
Do it.
Go. Elevator.
Everyone always says, who's the guy that did that? a dude that travels through time and through like, a half-hour sitcom-y sort of feel, or not sitcom, but funny comedy sort of feel, he invents things.
Tom and I were talking about this, like, who's the guy that made guacamole?
Years ago. Yeah.
This dude goes somewhere and ends up like cutting bread into slices, and he makes the wheel, and then he ends up going back to Delaware with his time machine. And
so it's like if Dr. Sam Beckett was really just Fry from Futurama. He's just going back in time and just like messing things up.
Quantum leap.
Making mistakes.
Making gin particles. Caitlin, do you have a second one?
I do. And of course, it's more conceptual than anything. But I would want to make a movie about someone whose creativity is their reality. So they have to like kind of turn it off all the time. Because like they can't see the normal world when it turns on.
Wow.
But at the same time, they're dealing with mental illness that is personified as like horror type creature. So whenever they see their creative world, their mental illness is like running through and possibly attacking them. And then they're like switching between creative world and real world and having to like bridge the gap between the two and find out how to live like a normal person.
That's terrifying.
Yes,
Sounds like a video
it would be a
game.
horror
It's like
movie.
putting on VR glasses.
Right.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. So, it'd be messing with reality a lot. Because, when like you turn and everything's different and how Inception kind of works, it'd be like that, but with like everything your brain could ever think of creatively.
Question.
Yes.
The illness or the thing, the manifestation of the thing, does that change or is it always the same?
That would be the one same element.
Oh, that's so scary.
That would be the one
scary.
thing of like, it'd be kind of like the Pennywise of like,
Could David Tennant be my anxiety?
Wow, that's good. That's really good.
But yeah, I've actually been tossing that concept around for a very long time, but didn't quite have the words to.
It sounds like a dope video game, actually, too.
Oh yeah, no, it'd be horrifying.
It'd be an empire. There'd be shows, there'd be movies, there'd be a video game.
Yeah. I have like the beats of it all like patched out in my head and like the type of people that would be in different places and surrounding that person, but just haven't, written it out yet.
Listen, Caitlin, when I get High Moon made, I'm going to have a little bit of clout and some connections. You're going to be my first call.
Hell yeah. I'm so about it. I'm also excited
one of the werewolves has to make a
cameo.
cameo.
Just run through. Yeah, fantastic.
Just all of us are going to die.
There's been a bit of recasting in Chronicles of Berdane. Jason Isaacs is out. I want David Tennant as the Horned King.
That's good. That's good.
It's David Tennant.
He's good. He's great at stuff.
I
Good at stuff.
have a second one. I think did I do a second? Yeah, this will be my second one. I think it will be my last one. I could just go off on these all day. But one of them, so I've been on this recent kick, and I thought about this like specifically for the show. I've been on this recent kick of, anyone watch Zoids?
Yeah, they've got a new Zoids.
Yeah, a little bit.
They have they have one on Netflix. I think there's a new one coming out.
Yeah.
Adrian's in it.
Yeah. All my friends are in it, but I'm not, so forget it. I hate the idea.
But you could be in this one.
Yes, I'm back in.
But so this
Jason
one for
be
me
the
was
Liger Zero. Just like give it a voice now. Can he be the
Oh my
Liger?
God.
She's gonna be Kit.
Go, Tom.
Possibly. So this is, for mine was a little bit more like, so I really enjoyed the first Zoids that I think America's got, which was New Century Zero, which was just tournament-based shonen arc crap. And then they later on like released Chaotic Century, which was much more of like this war. It felt a little bit more Gundam-like, and how like kids get recruited into rebellions and stuff like that. Which really kind of like expanded my idea of like the Zoids are kind of these like allegorical thing for weapons and stuff like that. But I really did like the organoid system that they evolve. So I was thinking, like, how if I just go far, like kind of like Joshi Chan's idea of going to high fantasy? Like, what if you do it where it's a little bit more blended with like Legend of Zelda? And I'm thinking of a little bit like Breath of the Wild, where you have the divine beasts. So certain Zoids are like these ancient machinations that like these, people who had connections with like ethereal spirit power and the power of earth, and they use it just to defend the earth and stuff like that. And so like there are these, group of knights and soldiers, whatever, who were the chosen pilots of these Zoids. And it's like this one kid who's like the quote unquote like seeker, and he's about to try to find them all so that he can stop blah, blah. But then he finds out that he's one of the chosen few and gets the Liger Zero, voiced by Jason Simpson. So it could be, but you find, and this is a cool thing you could just throw in there, that maybe the pilot who piloted the Liger Zero before him was his dad, and that his dad's spirit is inside the Liger Zero.
You're
And
a
so
dad,
like there's that
Jason.
connection. And so you could do all that stuff because I loved they blended the CGI and anime, art styles together in a way which wasn't like shocking for me, because I haven't been too big of a fan of like the cell shady anime. But then I really liked how Zoids did it. And also, you play with the whole like how well do you pilot it is a little bit of a representation of how far your character's developing and the conflict between them and the antagonists. Also, what are they fighting for? Maybe you could fucking subvert it in season 2 and be like, actually, these were like the dark guardians instead, and like the true people, like the angels that, protect the planet, were like, these were, substitutes for who we were, and then they become the bad guys. You can do a lot with it. I was like, man, like, because they put Zoids in such a way where it's like Transformers, where it's like they kind of are just meant to sell toys. So when you add lore to it, it just feels good because it's like, at least it means something. So I was just thinking about that, where it's like a mobile suit, fantasy, action. So that's it. Anime,
Nice.
30-minute episodes, 13 episodes a season, and we'll do for 3 seasons.
My second idea is a dark comedy, and the only idea that I had, like the only concept that I have is just like a blanket statement, is that it is a married couple that have some sort of addiction, and it can be anything, whatever the hot addiction to talk about at the time is, and they need to
Binging.
and they
Netflix
decide
binging.
to
Netflix
What?
binging.
yeah
But this
No.
is going to be a Hulu original, so it's going to be really crazy.
they decide that it's time to change. My idea is like alcohol addiction. But I realize that it can be changed to anything. And they decide that they want to change and they want to be done with it. And in order to cope, they become serial killers together.
New addiction.
That becomes their new addiction, which isn't
Is
as
that
healthy,
the name
but
of the
it could be.
series?
New
New
addiction.
New addiction. I don't know. Jane's
Sounds
addiction.
right.
A
I don't know.
deadly addiction.
Killer addiction.
There you go.
But that's it's on
You
USA.
have a knack for this. You have a knack for names.
It's on USA. That's good.
Are you sure it could be like right after Rizzoli and Isles on TNT? Because that would be pretty dope. Like,
Yeah.
Right
no.
after Rizzoli and Isles.
I mean,
a new episode.
I kind of think of like Santa Clarita Diet, just kind of like that, really kind of silly,
Kooky.
but I mean, it's dark.
American Beauty.
Yeah. Yeah, that's it.
That's good.
Has
And-
everybody
Well,
gone?
I think Josh
Yeah,
Chan
Josh
has
Chan.
one last
Chan
one.
has one more. So how familiar are you guys with like K-dramas?
Oh my god.
I've seen a few.
I love them.
They're one of my favorite things. So I watch a lot. But there's one that I haven't really seen, like a K-drama in space. It's not something that really happens too much. Like
You would have
they
thought
do a lot
Meteor
of, like,
Garden would have been that, but
period
no.
pieces where they go like back to like ancient
Oh, yeah,
Joseon
of
and
course.
everything. So they go ancient Korea, and you're like, oh, cool. Everyone's in period pieces and everything. But they don't really do anything like in the future. It's like I want,
Future
Yeah, it's
Korea.
usually present
yeah,
day
like
or
I want
past.
like a Star Trek K drama almost, like a sci-fi in space. Like we follow our two characters. They went to the academy together, Space Academy, Starfleet Academy. They went to Starfleet. We'll just make it Star Trek. They went to Starfleet Academy together.
I thought you were going to call it Star Trek Academy.
We're gonna call up Jonathan Frakes right now.
I do it. If Jonathan Frakes is the
Please.
next guest I want on the show. I need to
Well.
get Jonathan. So we have these two. They go to Starfleet Academy together. They meet. They hit it off. They become best friends. Fall in love, and then something happens. Like their last year there, and then they're basically flung to distant parts of the galaxy.
Star-crossed lovers.
Pretty much. So like they're
Taylor Swift.
all over, and then like 10 years goes by, and then they find themselves on the same ship.
Same station.
I was thinking like, do I want to do a station or do I want to do a ship? I think I want to do a ship.
Well, I mean, they could be stationed in the same place, technically.
Oh yeah, but yeah, basically like they're like going to be on the command staff together, like of this brand new ship. So they have to be reunited, and they're basically the exact same rank. Just one's in charge of one thing and one's in charge of the other thing. But they constantly have to like talk to each other. And so
there's tension.
Yeah, and so they both hate each other. But I want it to be able, like, I want two sets of actors. I want our present day actors and then our actors that were in the academy. So we're constantly going to be doing like a flash.
A little Arrow season 1 through 4.
So we're going to be doing like some flashbacks and everything like that so we can see what all happened. And I want them like on the whole one day, just like they have to do some maintenance outside. They're in their EVA suits and doing their little thing. And he looks up and he sees this like nebula passing by, and it's like beautiful. And so he kind of just stops what he's doing. And he's staring at it. And then you see like his like spanner or whatever just starts floating off into the distance. And so he reaches out for it, but she's also working, and she catches it out of the corner of her eye. And so she reaches out for it as well. And she grabs it because she's faster. She always has been. But like his hand like grabs her hand, and then they kind of just like stand like that for like a couple seconds, maybe a heartbeat. And then they slowly like look into each other's eyes again. This will be like probably around like episode 5 or 6 when they're starting to like reconcile. So they start looking into each other's eyes.
Caitlin's already into it.
Yeah, like they're
Look at
looking
her.
into each other's eyes, and then they start to remember their time at the academy together, working to the betterment of the universe.
Oh my god!
And that was my prop. And that's what I want. That's what I
Wow.
want. That's what I want.
What a pitch.
Okay,
She's
all
saving
right.
that for the
When are we
last.
making it?
Like,
oh man,
what-
I want
what-
like I
when is it
needed-
happening? It needed to be here yesterday.
Is Rick Berman doing anything? Can I get in touch with Rick Berman? Like,
Also, very real question: have you seen Romance as a Bonus
I
Book?
have not seen Romance's bonus book.
Please,
Is it
do
on Netflix?
Yes.
So if it's a K-drama, it wouldn't play in America first.
We're gonna.
Well,
in
here's the thing,
future,
here's the thing,
You and
though.
I are gonna talk about
It's
K-dramas.
since we're basically doing it as like Star Trek, basically.
Star Trek.
It's gonna have an international cast.
Of course.
So we can have people come in to the show. Like the captain very well could be David Tennant. Just why not?
So it's not really a K-drama. It's just a show treated like a
Well, no,
K-drama.
it'll be a K-drama
Yes.
because, like, did you watch Mr. Sunshine?
No.
Okay, that
I haven't watched a lot of K-drama
that's
in
fine.
a while.
Mr. Sunshine takes place like during like the early the late 1800s, early 1900s. Korea is still kind of like at odds with like Japan, but like the U.S. is there. So like this kid, he was taken. He was a slave. He escaped. This American missionary like takes him back to America. So he learns English. He becomes like an officer in the Marines, and then they have to go back to Korea to do like some diplomatic thing. And so like he goes back to Korea. So he's kind of like almost like an emissary between like Korea and the United States. So he speaks English and Korean, and they have a bunch of like American dudes in there. Like his best friend is like an American dude who like speaks English at the beginning. So they're just speaking English to each other at the beginning of it. So you can do stuff like that. So you can make it almost like international where, you know, they're still talking with
An
everybody.
international
Yeah,
K-drama.
I think it'd be great. You can have Vulcans.
I'm on board.
Of course you're on board. I'm just,
Yeah.
I'm now my thinking brain, I'm like, how much of the language is in one language? How much is in another language?
The majority of it
Oh.
would still be in Korean.
Okay.
But I mean, like,
'Cause-
because they're not going to be like talking to the captain like all the time because they have to do their other duties and everything. But when they do have to go talk to the captain, maybe speaks in English or he's
And then you gotta
trying
flip it around.
to learn Korean for them.
Question.
Yes.
let's say you're a guy who's never watched a K-drama in your life.
Asking for a friend.
And you want to watch it with other people and then talk about it later.
Jason,
yes,
do you want to watch
awesome.
a K-drama with us?
What is the one that person should watch? I mean, I've watched tons. My buddy has never, so I want to make sure he's seen,
right.
so he and I can talk about it.
Yeah.
I'm just so conflicted on
it
which he should
on
watch
if
first.
you want something that's modern day or you want something that's period piece, because there's great ones for both, but they're different.
I'm gonna go with Jason because I know you like the scarier aspect stuff, like that horror genre. I want to go with Kingdom, like The Kingdom.
Oh,
on
that's
Netflix.
Zombos.
Is that K-drama?
Well, there's two. There's 50 different things called The Kingdom.
I was gonna say
there's The Last Kingdom, which is
no Kingdom. It's Korean.
It's Korean, and it's zombies. So
yeah,
and
okay,
that's got what is his name? It's like Juji Han, I believe is his name. He's the main.
I can see Caitlin has another one though that she's dying to say.
I mean, I can't recommend Romance as a bonus book enough, but
okay, I'm gonna write that down.
It's really good.
Hyena's really good
for your friend.
For my friend.
Ah, yes, of course. I'm just texting him right now.
I mean, there's also like if you want the ones that are like tropey, there's also like Cinderella and the Four Knights.
You've lost me already.
Yeah, that one's a lot.
Mrs. Panda
that one's a lot. That one's like harem me.
If you want one that's like, oh, they work in a bakery, but he's like a professional chef type of thing.
That one's good.
That's all right.
Anything that has to do with food is
always anything that has a bakery. Anything that has a bakery, you're like,
There was the one about drinking too, where like getting a beer at the end of the day, so refreshing. You hate working for this boss, but they fall in love.
I have dubbed some shows. I can't remember the names of them right now, but
I can't believe that literally just became like a life goal to like work on a K-drama.
Oh,
dub.
also, would you like to know the names of our main characters?
Yes.
All right. So her name is Sun, and his last name is Moon. So you've got Sun and Moon.
Oh my god! And let me guess, they're gonna have kids named Stars.
We're trying to keep this like
I like
in like in reality.
Because one's gonna be called Cassiopeia.
Well, basically, I took that because of
Orion,
Ursa.
What was Sense8? Like her name was Sun, and then like she falls in love with Detective Moon because they would do like karate or whatever together. And so I'm just like Sun and Moon, perfect,
like Pokemon.
Exactly. One's an X and one's a Y.
And some of them have both, and some of them only have one.
But things aren't so black and white in space. Sorry, but no, I have a tagline. So it's like follow Sun and Moon as they try to explore their relationship and past as they explore space.
Oh,
there you go. That's my pitch to Korea.
Lieutenant.
This is Korea. Netflix Korea.
Korea. We know you're listening.
David Tennant fits in all of our.
Yes, I want.
He does somehow. One David Tennant per show.
So
awesome.
Wow,
that's crazy. Go ahead, Josh.
This has been fun, guys. So you guys, we want our audience to find you. Where do they go to find What's Up Fandom?
They can find What's Up Fandom on iTunes, Stitcher, Podbean, Google Play, Spotify, animationstationpodcast.com because I haven't changed it. Laziness. It's a very key factor in me not changing it.
Fair.
We've got some of our old ASP episodes up on YouTube under Animation Station Podcast. Social media wise, we're on Instagram at Animation Station, but no, we're not. On Instagram, we're at What's Up Fandom, and on Twitter, it's at What's Up Fandom PC. Jason, what about you? Where can they find you?
On Twitter, it's @AboySimpson, so @AboySimpson.
Hey.
And Instagram, Simpstagrams.
Nice.
What about all your other stuff? Where can they find your voice and watch you and things?
Oh,
you never do a really good job about like promoting your stuff, and I don't understand that.
Well,
I need you to promote more.
Okay, well,
The people want to know.
sure. I have a show on Netflix right now called The Dragon Prince. We've got 3 seasons. We've got 4 seasons coming. Go to my IMDb and just look at the stuff I've been in. You can watch me in those things. So like things like we talked about, Inuyasha, Gundam, a lot of that anime fun stuff, and a bunch of like Arrow. I was in Arrow. That was fun. So yeah, lots of on camera and in front of the microphone kind of stuff.
Cool.
Video
Also
games. And
have a
if you play video games. You can find me in like League of Legends and
Wait, who were
Tooth
you
and
in
Tail.
League?
I was a character called Rengar.
Oh my God, you're
Look at the stars in her eyes.
Yeah, ring, ring, ring. Yeah.
She has
So
an
You're
stuff like
Phil
that.
Lamar to her.
I have a League addiction, so
Oh,
yeah.
great. Well,
And Josh, where can they find
Yeah.
your stuff individually?
Well, I wanna plug for Jason as well. Jason also teaches video game voiceover classes.
Nice.
I can attest to at least one of them being good. One class
Wow.
is good.
Nice.
wow, thanks.
I've only been
Thanks for that
I've only
plug.
been to one.
He's in one of my classes, so
That makes sense.
He's also got another class if you want to learn how to voice act for video games and everything. He has a class October 9th, 16th, 23rd, and 30th. They have open spots.
very kind of you. Very
On
kind of
just go to onthemictraining.com. I should be sponsored by On the Mic.
Cash a check.
Like, yeah.
Jason's like, yeah, you could
Use
be.
promo code JoshyChan so they can track it.
Josh John.
It's not even my school. I just teach there, but yeah, I'll do it. I'll see what I can do for you.
That's fine. But no, yeah. Do that. It's really good. Like the first class, like we've done one class so far, and it's been really fun. It was quite good. We went over our 3.5 hour time.
Oh, wow.
He was very.
I'm
He
not
was.
supposed to
He
say
was
that because
very.
I'm not allowed to do that. But
he was very,
there it is.
like-
It's out now.
Cracking the whip. He wouldn't. We didn't take a break until like almost 3 hours.
He seems like that kind
And
of
then
guy.
he was like, "You
Yeah.
can have 1 10-minute break." Tuh. Like that. And it was like, all right.
You're really selling it.
Two
Thanks.
sips of water.
But you can find me on Twitter and Instagram at Josh O'Kane. I do, voiceover and all that junk. So if you want to hire me, I'm there.
Nice.
That's a good sell as well.
I try. Oh, and we're looking for a
you
co-host. Like, if you guys want to be a co-host, shoot us a message or whatever. We're always looking for new
Oh.
co-hosts because I can't depend on Jason all the time. Because at some
That's
point,
fair.
he's going to have to start going back to work. And it'll make it more difficult.
This is where I work.
Well, sometimes you'll
I know
have to
that
go back
feel.
into the studio. See?
One day.
Yep, that's true.
8 months from now.
Hopefully sooner. But awesome. Thank you guys for coming on the show. I appreciate it.
Oh, thanks
Great
for having
pleasure.
us.
Thank you.
It's fun. We should do
Thank
it again.
you so much. Well, that was fun. It's such a strange, like,
Wasn't
when
it
you go-
Oakley Dokley?
wasn't that great? It's such a weird transition when you go from like, and even in the video version of YouTube, like it cuts, like it's all of a sudden like more people and then less people. But that was a
So
really
what did you
fun-
think of that, boys and girls, and in between, and
And outside of.
and outside of?
That was a really fun interview. They're really cool peeps. We were
Yeah.
on their show. In fact, at the time of this recording, well, actually, at the time that this post, their episode has already come out with us. A lot of fun. We got to go over our favorite movies. So check that out. But yeah, everybody
Good
at
shows.
home, do make sure to go check them out wherever you listen to podcasts.
Please.
Again, that is What's Up Fandom. They may show up in search engine as Animation Station Podcast, but it'll all go to the same place. Do check them out. Show them
wonderful
some
people.
love, some Nerd On love. But yeah, thank you so much for listening. If you are new to Nerd On, well, first, welcome. Thank you. Thank
Hi.
you so much for joining us. Do check out our website, nerdon.tv. It's recently gone through a facelift, so super easy to listen, super easy to subscribe.
Can I add a little thing? If
Yeah.
you're tired of scrolling over that hundreds and hundreds of episodes, those sweet episodes we gave you, if you check out our website, they got it all right there, baby, starting from the very first one. So what are you doing with your life? Catch up with it. We know you ain't doing anything right now. You doing some dishes, you driving, put that bad boy in the headphones, listen to it, and just enjoy and thank us later. You know what I'm saying? Put in
Do
that rate
whatever
review.
you'd like.
Yeah.
If you want to listen to it, everything's on
Make
the
your
website.
own
Step up your
choices.
life.
Make your
Wow,
own choices.
so aggressive. But do whatever you'd like. But know that all of our content is there ready to consume when you're
Yes.
ready for
For you. So
it. Oh my God.
We do a lot here at Nerd On, so check out our YouTube. All of these episodes do have video versions that do go to YouTube. We also have a gaming channel on YouTube, so check that out. And then we stream on Twitch, so check that out.
chat with us.
Yeah, come hang out.
All the time.
Sometimes it's Magic the Gathering, sometimes it's one of our fellow hosts cheating on us with
They're very
her
upset. I
friends
played
on a
draft
game that
without
we
them
usually play together, but
twice.
it's cool. Whatever.
I had fun.
And that's all that is important is fun, not friendship. No, just kidding.
Oh, wow.
If you, wherever you listen, do stop by and rate and review us. It has two reasons. A, it makes us feel all warm and fuzzy
really
inside.
does.
And second, it helps us to grow because when we see those, we pay attention. Positive reviews are feedback because it lets us know what we're doing right and maybe to expand on and that kind of stuff. But like I said at the top, do consider joining the Nerd On Nation. It does help us to grow. It does help us to create more content and hopefully get to a place that we do this all the time, making
We're
more
gonna make
content
more
for you.
and more.
All
So
right.
step up your life, baby.
Oh, yeah. Just
So intense.
So aggressive.
But yeah, that has been it. Thank you so much for listening. You know the drill. As always, Nerd On.
Nerd on.
Nerd on.
Ending broadcast.